Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And if we seem like we're kind of out of sorts, we are, but it makes for a great radio show every Saturday morning as we close in on our 24th year on the air. Right here on AM 790 in Memphis from 9 to 10:30. Good morning to all you good folks in Brownsville on 95.3 and 1520 AM. And, of course, in Jackson on News Talk 101.5. And our co-host today, of course, this is what? Is it, guys? It is what?
The Old Time Radio Show with Daryl and Daryl.
Brother Daryl and Daryl. It's our first Saturday. Which means there we go. We got Dave Gabbard on the line in Lexington, Tennessee. Don't get that confused. Good morning, Dave. And then the man himself, the pun master himself, which I'm sure he will have some throughout the show today, is our good friend Gene Smith. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, sir. How y'all doing?
We are doing great, and we have a room full here, Gene. We did not have room for you and Dave. I'm glad you're not here.
I'm telling you.
Okay, I got some. Nice-looking women here and spruce us up on a Saturday morning. And then,
now you tell me.
And now Hoot standing up over there. Hoot, I didn't want to talk about you. We got Hoot, Ricky Hoot Hazelgrove out of Bolivar, Tennessee. A tune, really, right? That's right, Hoot. Okay, that's right. And Hoot brought his bodyguard. Okay, who you got over there, Hoot?
That's my best friend. Went to school, elementary up through high school.
Okay.
And when we graduated, went our separate ways. Gary Smith.
Gary Smith. Gary, thank you. You brought an audience to us today. Gary's over in the corner. He's not going to speak. Put that microphone that you and Hoot can share over there, Misty, back and forth a little bit. And, of course, we couldn't do it without Shelby McCall. She is here this morning. She did not bring the trumpet. We did not get that all worked out, but we did. But, Hoot, you did bring your saxophone, right, Hoot?
Yes, sir.
And what do we got? What kind of sax is that?
That's an alto saxophone.
That's an alto saxophone, and you've been playing that for how long?
Long time.
Long time. And, of course, you folks know Hoot. He's been on the show. He's back from South Carolina at Backwater. Is that the name of it?
Blackwater Hunting Services in Ulmer, South Carolina.
And you've been over guiding for turkeys for how long? You know that.
27th year completed. Before that, I got it at a private plantation, but I've been with Blackwater for 27 years.
27 years, and y'all killed a few turkeys, didn't you?
Yeah, we killed several.
Several, okay, yeah. But he's back in town, and always great to have Hoot. We're going to talk to Hoot throughout the show here, and he's going to give us some music on that saxophone, but he's one of our favorite guests on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Came all the way over to Bolivar. I think as soon as the show's over, they're going to go on down to one of my favorite places to visit, the
Man's Mall.
Yeah, the Man's Mall, and be out there when the doors open for that on this Saturday morning. And then, of course, we have two guests from Radians, and we are so happy to have this. I was out. You folks know how much Radians means to Outdoors with Larry Ray, particularly all you folks who have got prizes over the years. We've got the lady here, Miss Prize winner right here, Mary Padron. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Larry.
Speak up there, Mary, because
good morning, Larry.
And, of course, if you don't know where Radiance is, we're going to tell you a lot today, but she brought, when I was out getting more good stuff for all the wild game dinners I spoke at, man, fishing rodeos, things like that, I was out at Radiance, and Mary introduced me to this young lady and said, she's got a pretty good story to tell. And I said, what is that? And then I met Misty Page. She is the marketing product data specialist at our good friends here in Memphis on Radiance, and she does something on the side. What's your hobby?
Oh, Larry, just a little bit of bow fishing.
A little bit of bow fishing. I think a lot of bow fishing.
Maybe. It's addictive.
It is addictive, and
yes,
we're going to talk to her about her love of bow fishing because I think you just got back from some competition.
We did. We went down to Louisiana to try to fish the U.S. Open.
Yes?
Yes, it wasn't the best of experience, but boy, it's always memories to be made for
particularly
sure.
in South Louisiana. Where were you?
Oh, yeah.
Where were you?
It was in Gonzales.
In Gonzales.
Yeah.
Okay, that is lower Louisiana, down there where they speak a different language.
A little Cajun.
Yeah, a little Cajun. A lot of good food and things along that line. But I've got a lot of pictures we're posting on LarryRay.com of Misty and her passion for bow fishing. And I know that we've had Johnny Morris, his son Paul Morris, on this show several times, and he's eat up with it and talked about that. And so we're going to talk to Misty, and then Mary, as she comes in the door bearing gifts. It's Miss Santa Claus coming in the door, blonde-headed Santa Claus coming in the door. And we're also going to talk about a product that you really need right now from Radiance. Now, we think about hearing protectors, glasses, jackets, all sorts of these things, but you brought something. You brought a box over there or something, too. What's in that box?
Yes, we brought a dozen of our Arctic Radwear cooling towels.
Woo. And we need it. It's May and it's already summer. What happened to spring?
We skipped that.
We skipped that. So we're going to make sure that you leave here with one of those things wrapped around your neck to keep you cool, huh? Yeah. Oh, he's got that wrapped around his neck too and everything. Yeah. But Gene Smith is on the road, the pun master himself, and Dave is traveling. Every time I call Dave Gabbard, I'm
at home. I actually at home.
You're home now, but I talked to you the other day. You were checking out of a hotel, so I never know.
Oh, yeah.
I never know what you might be. But also, you guys get ready because I'm really excited to not only have these great guests in the studio, but we're going to talk to one of my favorite places. And if I can pronounce it, I have more trouble ever since I was a little kid saying ornithology. Okay, that sounds like something that the dentist would put in your mouth, But we're going to have Julia Wang. She is the Lights Out program project leader for the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. And
all right.
And Gene, if you don't know what that is, she is trying to save billions of birds who run into buildings at night when they're all lit up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this is in 50 states. Now, she's in New York, and but we're going to talk to Julia about that. How many birds are killed just flying, not running. If I say a bird running, like it's a penguin, but if they're flying into buildings, okay? And so we're going to talk to Julia about that. And then, of course, who's going to be around to play the saxophone and also talk about the experience he has. And I think that we ought to let people know, Hoot, that your background tune is where you reside.
Correct.
And you've grown up in that area, but at the same time, how long were you in the military?
20 years active in the Marine Corps.
In the Marine Corps. He's a saxophone-playing Marine Corps turkey hunter, duck hunter, you name it. And he plays, he's Walmart. You're almost a greeter at Walmart, aren't you? I mean.
I rate to be able to serve the elderly.
Well, you're looking at him here, okay? So just keep serving me. But a fun show. Dave, everything going all right with you?
Yeah, I'm started hot and heavy in my shooting season. So.
Yes, yeah.
In fact, today I've got at Henderson, they'll be having their monthly trap shoot, and then I just got my program yesterday in the mail for the U.S. Open that's coming up.
And when is that? When's that U.S. Open? Where?
It's it'll be held at the World Shooting and Recreation Complex at Sparta, Illinois.
That's right.
It'll be first week of June there.
Okay, and of course Gene is the man that's now in the Memphis Amateur Hall of Fame for his work as a hunter education instructor. He's taught over 20,000 kids, and including, I guess most of them passed, Gene, right? I can't remember. I don't mean died, but I mean passed the test, okay? Sometimes
yes, it is.
Sometimes our English language gets people in trouble. Somebody said the other day that he had patience. I thought he's in the hospital. No, that's a different kind of patience, So we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to talk a lot, as I'm well able to do, and we're going to play our instruments. We're over there with a little music, and then we're going to strike some string music on the bow. And, play me some music on that, Hoot. Let me hear some music over there. You put the microphone up there so you can hear it.
For your listening pleasure.
Yes, we want to hear it. Oh, my.
That would be the lovely voice of a female hen.
I thought it. You probably know her name, but I mean
Henrietta.
Henrietta.
Yeah.
And the box call you use. What is that box call you're using?
That's a Billy White paddle box.
Have you had that for a while?
Yes, it rates to have skull and crossbones on it. I've had it for about
20-something years.
7 years.
So, as Robert Cliff used to say, he called his box call the last call. I'm assuming that one there has had some last calls too, right? And
to the male version of what you're trying to attract.
Yes.
It's
deadly. It's deadly.
I use it a lot, Larry, when it's windy.
Oh, okay. So you can hear it then.
And they can hear it a very, very long ways off.
Long ways off, and that's what I need when it comes to. What's the closest you've ever had a turkey come to you, Hoot? I got to ask that real
3
quick.
3 feet.
Come on now.
All right, 2.5.
2.5.
I could actually count the hairs on his snood.
Are you serious?
As a heart attack.
Oh, well, that's what I would have if I had one 2.5 feet from me. It comes down to that.
A lot of people, Larry, they like first-time deer hunters, it's called buck fever.
Yes, yeah.
To me, personally, I deer hunt, but
Yeah.
it's nothing compared to the adrenaline. I mean, this is not my first rodeo by any means.
Yes, I know
and the adrenaline, thank goodness, I don't consider myself an expert at all.
Come on. Yeah, okay.
But I've had several turkeys harvested, if that's the correct word.
That is.
They had their lip blowed off. That's redneck for a woohoo.
Yeah, well.
But anyway.
Harvest is killed. Okay.
The adrenaline, to me.
Yeah.
We get a lot of first-time turkey hunters at Blackwater.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
And it's so exciting for them, and it's great for the guys because they actually listen to you, pay attention. They don't try to guide the guided by no means.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm going to give a prime example, and this Bo Fisher lady here will appreciate this.
Yeah.
Next to last hunter this year is a 23-year-old young man from Utah. He wanted the ultimate challenge. He had never bow hunted, and he had never turkey hunted. I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Did he kill one with a bow?
The last morning, the bow hunter stuck one.
Yes. Yeah.
But it flew off. I got another guide and 2 dogs, and we looked for 2 hours. But he did. He did hit it. It was a very, very good hit.
Okay.
But he actually told me when he was practicing, when he arrived, that he was a good shot. Very evident he had put the time in the practice. And I told him it's just missing one element. And he said, "What's that?" I said, "Adrenaline." That happened the last morning. I'll try to make this quick.
Yes.
Turkey gobbled on the roost. We got set up, and it was evident the turkey was coming.
Yeah.
I whispered to him, "You're going to have to figure out when you can draw your bow."
Yeah.
We're looking at 2 different angles. No matter if we were sitting this close to each other, we see different things.
Yeah.
The turkey was at 18 steps, full strut. And I was trying to video it, but I couldn't. I got the audio, and it sounded like a baseball bat hitting a brick wall.
So you knew.
And the arrow was wrapped with,
where it was supposed
it was wrapped with bloody
yes, it
feathers and stuff.
Yeah.
He immediately wanted to run and go chat. I said, no, we're not going to contaminate the area. You got to get some dogs over here.
Yeah.
He said, Hoot, I got to be honest with you.
Yes.
He said, as far as a challenge,
yeah,
I was calm as a cucumber when I drew the bow.
But that?
He blacked out.
Yes.
He never knew he released the arrow.
Oh, my goodness.
So that was that.
Hold that thought, Pete. We're coming to take our first break of the morning. Now, it's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be fun. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, and good morning again to all you folks in Memphis on AM 790, 92.9 HD FM from 9 to 10:30 every Saturday morning. And we're going to go local right now on Outdoors with Larry Ray, a local company that is known worldwide and is a real giver to Outdoors with Larry Ray over the years, and as I mentioned earlier, it's always a pleasure to talk to Mary Padron of Radians. And I know, what's your title again? You got a title.
I'm a senior marketing communications and event specialist.
Okay, you can't get that on a shirt. There's too many words there. I know
it's too many words.
Too many words. Mary, I appreciate you introducing me to Misty Page over here, and talk a little about what Misty does for Radians.
Well, Misty is one of our best workers. She works hard. She handles all of our new products, getting the data across multiple platforms on the website, on our customers' websites. The work is it's demanding, it's meticulous, it's exacting.
And she has taken her job there. You've been there almost 10 years,
I've actually been there almost 12 years.
12 years.
12 years.
My goodness. Okay, time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely.
But talk to us, Misty, about this love of bow fishing.
Well, it started about 6 years ago.
Oh, just not when you were a little girl or anything like that. 6 years ago.
Never shot a bow. Nothing like. I grew up like deer hunting and things like that. But it's funny because I went bow fishing, and probably the next day I went straight and bought myself a bow. And I'm pretty frugal with money, and they're not cheap. So I got
I realize that. Yeah.
Fast.
So the next day. So what captured your imagination about doing this?
It was just the whole experience. I mean, just my love for nature. It's a whole different world out there at nighttime. It's fantastic.
And you're going for big fish.
Oh. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All the big fish.
Okay, so what's the biggest fish that you've got in your career in 6 years? What?
It's going to be a tough one.
What do you think? 25?
Oh, you got to go bigger than that, Larry.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get you going here.
Probably about a 36-pound grass carp.
A 36-pound grass carp,
yeah.
and you're using Oneida bow.
Oneida.
Okay, so talk about your equipment and the line, because the people can't say, well, she just said she's fishing at night. Yes, she is. This is bow fishing. A spotlight is important too.
We actually have on the boat. You've got lights all on the front.
Right. It looks like
you turn on that generator. Yep.
Yes, it lights up everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So talk about your equipment then.
So I use it's a lever bow.
Okay.
And it's actually how you shoot the fish. It's got a reel like a rod reel.
Yeah.
But it has an arrow attached to it to the string. And when you shoot the fish, obviously you've got to be strategic about it. But you're going to shoot the fish and then you reel it in, and it. Depending on the fish, some fight a little harder. If you shoot them in the head, obviously they're not going to fight very hard.
They're not going to fight very hard. And
yep.
And the reeling part to get them in the boat.
You have to be careful, and it's a team effort too. So if you get a really big fish, you want to get backup shots. It's just a whole boat experience. And to Hoot's point, it is some adrenaline.
It is adrenaline, and
yes.
and competition wise now. So you're in competition on some of these. How does that work?
There'll be different kind of tournaments all throughout the year, and it's just. Each tournament's kind of different. It'll have either a big fish you go after, or they'll have a numbers thing, and it's
not. You're competing against male and female here. I mean,
yes. Yeah. There's. We actually got the pleasure and to go to the first annual ladies bow fishing tournament. It was held in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And it was me and my stepdaughter Bailey.
Okay.
And then another lady that fishes with us. We got the pleasure of taking home first place for
wow.
the first ever
in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma, yeah.
So a lot of people think about these big fish, grass carp, whatever it might be, alligator gar.
Yeah, well, alligator. I've gotten to get some good ones. They're mostly in Louisiana.
That's
we kind
of
go
saying.
a lot of places.
Yeah. So how often do you do this?
Not often as I would like,
well,
but
yeah.
we actually go year round. Obviously, during the winter it's harder. You got to be true die hard to get out there.
Is it prime time
degrees.
now? Is it prime?
It is really good time now, especially since the bugs are going to start soon. They get a little bit overwhelming, especially the mayflies.
Yes, they will. Yeah.
My favorite would probably be spring and fall, right before it gets too cold, and then when it's warming up, and the sunsets are just their own their own thing.
So you're fishing primarily from what time to what time?
We the prime time usually is past my bedtime. It's about 2:00 in the morning.
2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, but we try to get on there. You want to get out there at dark.
Yes.
Because you use the lights, and in between there, we don't have clear enough water here to fish during the daytime, but
that's
is possible.
True. Yeah.
But probably just dark till. It depends on how good of a night you're having. You'll fish till daylight if there's fish everywhere.
Well, there's other things out there too besides fish.
Oh, we have gotten to see all kind of animals.
No shoulders is what I call them.
No shoulders?
Snakes.
Snakes? We don't see them that much.
You really don't see them
Not that much. Not like you would think.
Yeah, I would think that you would be they're swimming by, It's not like frog gigging, right, Dave Gabbard? Huh? I mean, when you think about that, Dave, huh? The experience of...
Oh, yeah. It's... And it takes a pretty good shot to bowfish because, you're out there at night and you got all them lights and that fish is underneath the water and you kind of lose your depth perception. You really don't know how deep that fish is.
It's exactly. You got the refraction that throws you off. You got to aim low.
And this is a real thing now. Boat-wise, what are you fishing out of? What's?
We actually have a custom Long Beach boat.
Oh, you got a custom Long Beach. That sounds like
California.
What's custom-wise? What is it?
It's a 72 something another. That would be. I usually bowfish with Big City Outdoors.
Okay,
so
there you go.
It's his boat, and it is just.
And you got lights all around it and everything.
Yes, there's a whole row of lights across the front and the front sides, and then you've got some on the back too. And you'd be surprised. You can actually stand back on the back and get some pretty good fish because they'll run out.
So actually, this may be the only fishing thing that being on the back is not really that bad.
Exactly.
Because I've always been on the back with these boats. They always put me back there because they want to catch a fish up in front.
Yep.
So you have a chance. Again, we're talking Misty Page from our good friends at Radiance, and thanks to Mary Padron for bringing Misty in here. And the competition-wise, these are considered rough fish.
Yes, they are the trash fish. We try to get rid of the bad guys so that the good ones that you want to eat, can hang around a little longer.
They hang around and do it and everything. And so, and this time, she brought some coolant things.
I did.
These are perfect. We're throwing this in for Radiant's sake because it could get pretty humid and sticky. I'm imagining when you're out there with bugs and all that, and the lights attract bugs. I'm assuming
they do. You got to keep moving, but even if you keep moving with the troller or a kicker motor, it's just sticky out there. So like we actually take our Radiance cooling towels, and they are just a help, in general.
Well, I guarantee. Have you ever bowfished on the hatchie?
You can. There's some garfish.
There's the man right next to you right there that I bet he would love to do. Wouldn't you like to do that, Hoot? I mean, be along as an observer on that.
A guide.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have to. Yeah, you could take her to the spots. He knows the Hatchie River the back of his hand.
I'll teach you to bowfish if you teach me to call a turkey.
There we go. We're having
looks like it might rain outside, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go, swapping everything. Well, Misty, we appreciate it. And Mary, you folks have been so kind. And won't you tell our listeners a little bit about Radiance, because they'd like to know about this.
We are headquartered here in Memphis, Tennessee. We employ over 400 people here.
Wow, yeah.
We have offices all over the world, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Thomasville, North Carolina. And we make safety gear for several different channels.
Yes.
Of course, the sporting goods channel, which is how I know Larry.
Yes.
But we also make quality gear for the industrial sector, construction workers.
Yes, you do.
Lawn and garden, ranch, the DIY market, and hardware market. So what we're trying to do is protect people's eyes, ears, hands, keep people safe at work and at play.
And that facility has grown since you've been here, Mary. I know for me, your facility now, how big is that out there?
Yes. When I first started, we just had one building.
That's it. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, it was easy to get into. Now it's like going to the fort.
Yes, and then we added on to that building, and then we took over 2 buildings in Discover where I work and where we...
Right.
And then we rent Mineral Wells, which is right next to it. So we have a compound now.
Yep.
Yes, you do.
Whole little compound.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
And it's right out by the airport, we can tell,
Yes.
but worldwide, this is
Yes.
you guys are so good for Memphis.
What was really cool is our founder and CEO, Mike Tudor.
Yes.
He built the company from one single product, which was for the sporting goods. That was a combination eyewear.
Yeah.
But at the end of the frame was an earplug that stuck into your ear. So you had like two kinds of protection all in one. And then Mike just grew it. He acquired more people. He started acquiring companies like Vision Aid and Crossfire and
Crossfire for sure.
Crossfire is good.
And what was Phillips the high vis? Carolina. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Carolina Safety Sport.
Yeah.
Carolina Safety Sports.
And Radians, we got a couple of minutes here. That name is catchy too. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I don't have an idea. But it's a good name. It's a good name. It's just something that jumps out at you. But I wanted to personally thank you and Radiance. We've got some giveaways that we're going to talk about a little bit later that Mary has been good enough. We got some of those cooling wrap things over there. And I tell you what, you guys know I'm an avid golfer. As soon as I make a hole-in-one, I'm quitting. So I know I'm going to be, I've used these things from mowing my yard and playing golf and whatever. So it's not just the outdoor world, but we appreciate you, Mary, for what you and your folks at Radiance have done and opened up us a new friend with Misty over there. And we're going to have a lot of pictures. I like those pictures.
I know, they're great.
So you'll be able to see those on LarryRay.com. And where do they go for Radiance information? What?
You can go to our website, which is www.radians.com. And Radians is spelled R-A-D like David, I-A-N-S like safety.com.
Oh, you had to get that S like
I
safety.
know,
I like that. Yeah, that may be the going thing right there. All right.
And Larry, we appreciate you so much, too. Thank you for all that you've done for us.
Well, it's been fun over the years, and I'm going to keep doing this. I'm not ready to quit yet. Shelby, are we ready to take a break? Let's take a break. We got Dave Gabbert somewhere out there in the Hitherland. Gene Smith, you want to come back?
Yes,
We're going
sir.
to get a pun ready for me, Gene. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We will be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I don't know how many times I've said that over these many years, but it comes automatic, and it's always good to talk to you folks out in the outdoor world throughout the Mid-South and also on the Odyssey app that you can get right here, family of radio stations, but we're on every Saturday morning in what's really the Grizzlies studio. And when the Grizzlies aren't playing, we're in here on Saturday mornings. All right, we're coming right back. Before we go into this segment with Misty Page and Hoot Hazelgrove over there, the Hooter, we've got to have our pun master come in right now, Gene Smith. And we got to have two puns at least, Gene. Give us the first pun.
Okay, you know, a lot of times the church bulletins has things misprinted.
Yes.
Or misconstrued, whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
So the preacher in the bulletin says that people that want to be baptized is a list in the forum. They want to be baptized on the fellowship hall, large table.
Large table. Okay. All right. What else? Got another one?
You know how you fix a broken tomato?
How do you fix a broken tomato?
With tomato paste.
With tomato paste. Okay. All right. How about that, Gabbert? Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
That sounds...
you know, it's even making it even scared away my nemesis out there right now.
Oh, golly, I'm afraid to ask.
I got carpenter bees everywhere.
Oh, do you really? Okay. Well, I don't know. That's too bad. You need to be in the studio, and you wouldn't have them here. All right, let's go back to Misty Page, Hoot Hazelgrove. What a combination we got here. We got one that, talking about bow fishing. Now, Hoot over there is going to show Misty a few tricks of the trade. And Hoot is good enough to do that. He taught Shelby. We got pictures of that. We'll get pictures of Hoot So what are you gonna tell her if she wants to try to learn how to turkey call?
Have you ever used a pot call in a striker?
No, she didn't. A pot call. She thinks it's a fireplace. Now, come on now.
Well, I have briefly for a few seconds. Somebody tried.
Few seconds.
A few seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hoot, go with it now.
Larry, how much time do I have for one quick lesson?
You got about 8 minutes or
8
so.
minutes. All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
You're right-handed?
I can use both, but right.
Oh,
No,
you're
no.
you're ambidextrous. You can use either hand. Okay.
Well, just for my training class, let's make believe you're right-handed.
All right. Here we go.
Now,
All right.
do you notice how I'm holding my striker?
Hey,
Yes,
Shelby.
sir.
Shelby, take my picture
See
too.
this?
All right.
Okay. If you notice, I've made the tops of these hoot-proof.
Ooh.
This is where it's going to sound real good. Each pot call has what we call a sweet spot. I have found the sweet spot.
Okay.
So,
Here we go.
with your striker,
That's a striker. All right.
come up and straight up and down for right now.
Okay.
You look like you're struggling. It's very natural. Look, see, there's
Got it.
two ways to hold the striker. You can either point like chopsticks,
Yeah.
or you
Okay.
can do ink pen or pencil.
I ink pen it.
Oh, let's pin it.
Okay.
All right.
Missing Misty is going to pin it.
Missed it, Misty.
Misty, okay.
Okay.
Now put it up. Look where my wrist is. Look where my wrist is sitting.
Okay.
And I'm not choking the sound chamber.
I was.
Oh, for training purposes, let's hold it like this.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is up and down.
All right.
Get it just like mine.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
Quit shaking.
Okay, I'm trying.
All right. Put the striker on the.
There you go.
Now,
Got
watch this. Do you know? Have you ever seen matches in a matchbook? The old wooden ones with. You're not supposed to do this. You're going to try to strike that match towards yourself.
Pull it back towards you. There you go. Oh, there you go.
Do it again.
Oh.
There you go.
One more time.
There you go.
That's called a cluck. And we're trying to mimic a female turkey hen.
Okay.
Now, without ever taking the striker
This is
off
cool.
of the top,
Yeah.
bring it up just a little bit, right there. That's the sweet spot. But look how I'm resting my palm.
I wish y'all could see this.
Now, half a moon
Half a moon.
going away from you.
I'm doing a play-by-play.
Look what I'm doing. Okay, hold it down. Now instead, I'm sorry, I missed a very important part. Instead of straight up and down,
Yeah.
look at my striker at the top. Look, mine.
This is the radio.
Okay.
Look, watch.
Angle it.
About
Okay.
10 degrees.
All
All
right.
right.
Now, half moon. Don't take it.
Am I going? Come on.
Yeah, you're doing it.
Hold on. I got it.
We're going to get some hands on. Can I put my arm around you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
What? Hey, she might be packing a bow or something. Silent and
Put it
deadly.
back.
Oh, I wish y'all were here. This is,
right.
this
Okay.
is cool.
Look.
There you go. There you go. A little purr there. Oh,
But
I'm a
now,
professional.
I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to retire as a guide in about 10 years.
10 years.
So, but no, a little bit of pressure. You got to put. See,
Okay.
look, see the end. That's how much pressure.
She
is
didn't
on.
know she was going to have to do this.
But-
this
I
is
did
the,
not. I did
Now look,
not know.
half moon. The angle.
Oh yeah.
at an angle.
That stays
There
straight
you
up.
go.
And, that you don't break my call. Loosen up just a little bit. Now look, straight up and
There's
down.
nobody watching but us.
Straight up and down.
Okay.
That part.
Okay.
Go away from you 10 degrees.
Got it.
Now point your finger. There you go. Now that's going to force your middle finger to control the bottom of the striker.
It is.
There you go. We're making music.
It sounds almost exactly like mine, and I'm using a crystal call. She's using a slate call.
She's using the slate. I thought she was.
Now,
okay.
look at
All right,
this.
now your 8 minutes
Here-
are
here-
up.
All right, 30 seconds, please.
30 seconds.
30
all right.
seconds. Cluck. Yep.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. That's it. That's it.
That was good.
8 minutes
I'm
of
kind of a big
instruction
deal now.
from the one and only Hoot Hazelgrove over there. And Hoot, I don't know. Man, you just got a gift, buddy. I know God's given you a real gift to be a people person. This guy entertains people, and later on in the show, you're going to hear that saxophone come out when he makes that noise. What's it about turkey hunting that you like so much, Hoot? What is it about it?
Well, like the young man I told you about, he wanted the ultimate challenge.
Yeah.
To me, every day in the woods is an ultimate challenge.
It is. That's right.
Because no matter what you see on YouTube, no matter what you see on the sporting TV shows, every hunt is different.
It is. That's right. And I'm assuming, Misty, that's the same way when you go fishing.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't know what's going to happen that night, you know. And Hoot has that. He's the opposite end. While you're going to hunt, he's going to bed. I mean, because he's got to get up early. He's up early with those turkeys in the bottoms over there.
Yep.
And he has a companion though, don't you, Hoot? Who's your companion that you take with you most of the time, Hoot?
Diesel.
Diesel. Yes, we can't do this show without you mentioning Diesel. So tell our listeners who Diesel is.
Diesel is part lab, part hound dog, and he is. You can everybody in Bolivar knows Diesel way better than they know me.
They do, don't they? Yeah, yeah.
And what gets me, Larry, and I'm not the jealous type.
Yes.
My birthday's June 15th.
All right.
His birthday's June 15th.
Are you serious?
We put it on Facebook, and guess who gets all the happy birthdays?
Diesel.
Diesel
gets that. Well, what do you expect, man? I mean,
his favorite place?
Yes.
You can ask anybody in my hometown. Is Sonic.
He loves the Sonic. Yeah, he does love the Sonic. How old is Diesel now?
He will be 5 on June 15th. I can't believe it.
He's already 5. I remember when he was a puppy.
Yes, sir.
And he took a real place in your heart. I know that.
Big time.
Yeah. And so if you see him coming down the street in his truck, Diesel's going to be there.
He sets up better than any passenger. He's a very good rider. It's a 12-hour drive to where I guide from Bolivar.
Uh-huh.
But I dropped him off at my mother's on the coast of South Carolina.
Yeah, yeah.
And he knows when we pass a Sonic.
Well, I tell you
on the interstate.
He knows the Sonic, doesn't he?
That's the hound dog in him.
You need to get him in a Sonic ad. I'm just telling you, the Sonic people need to get Diesel.
Well, I'm telling you, the young ladies at Car Hop or whatever they're called at Sonic.
They know Diesel, don't they?
They know what to order when I pull up. They know whose it is. They bring him a puppy cup, and he's nonchalant. He doesn't wag his tail.
No, he doesn't.
It's because he expects that.
He'll take over the show.
A little bit of arrogance with him goes a long way with people.
Well, I understand that when you go to Sonic in Bolivar there, that you've been known to put Diesel in the driver's seat. I didn't know if that's really true or not. And when they come to the window, Diesel's there and you're in the other seat.
He can't wear a seatbelt.
They can't wear seatbelts. Okay.
And I'm almost positive he could tell them what number it is by patting his paws on the door.
He can. I mean, I'm sorry, Misty, we got to get Diesel in here. And we need to get Diesel a cooling thing around his neck, too. And we'll make a picture of that, okay? Because you can follow Hoot on Facebook. He's got some great postings and things along that line. But he just I had to throw Diesel in there. I'm an animal lover and like to do that. But thank you, Hoot, and for bringing Diesel along with us and giving the lesson to Misty. I don't know if Mary's ready for that yet, but we'll check her out the next time, okay? She can probably give you lessons now.
Larry, though, just to be outside in nature with Misty on that boat would be wonderful for me. I wouldn't have to catch a thing.
Well, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. But you'd have to have bug spray. I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
There are that. So before we make this break, Misty, what's your next? When you going again? What's next?
I hope to go this weekend, but I don't think the weather's going to let me.
No, it's not going to be good. Are you got any more competition coming up that you're going to try to get in?
I don't have anything on plate, but I'm up to whatever. If you find me in a tournament, I'm down.
There you go. All right, we're going to work on it. All right, ready to go? Shelby, time? Let's get out of here. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry. We were having lots of fun. Misty, Paige, Mary, Padron, thank y'all so much
for
being
Larry.
Part of the show today. You can stick around because Hoot's going to be a hoot in a little while. All right, Gene Smith's on the line, I thought I heard him snoring. Dave Gabbert is still there, too. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. As again, we roll into our 24th year on the air here in Memphis, and all you good folks in Memphis on 790 AM, 92.9 HD FM every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30, and of course in Brownsville on 1520 AM and 95.3 FM in Jackson, Tennessee on News Talk 101.5. Gene Smith is hanging around for this segment. We've got some studio guests that really want to hear about this next guest and what she does. And Gene, being an avid bird watcher and a former president of the local Audubon Society, isn't that right, Gene?
Yes, sir.
And
20 years.
Yeah, and of course he knows Audubon, and he knows Shelby Forest and Audubon, all the different things. But when I ran across this, and I get the bird, I don't know what it is. It's a daily report for my bird watchers out there, and we do this a lot. This is not just hook and billet on Outdoors with Larry Ray. I think that's right. One of our reasons for longevity is we reach out to different segments, and we're going to reach out right now to Julia Wang. She is the Lights Out Program project leader for the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and we're really happy to have Julia on with us this morning. Good morning, Julia.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, let's talk. I know Gene wants to listen in on exactly what is the Lights Out program.
Absolutely. So a little bit of background context here, which I'm sure Gene is familiar with, but just in case some of our listeners aren't, I work with bird migration and bird collisions in particular. Unfortunately, we're living in a landscape where bird mortality is at an incredible high. Since 1970, we've lost about 3 billion breeding birds in just North America.
Wow.
So, I mean, against that, we're very concerned about those bird losses. I mean, in less than a human lifetime, so many birds. And one of the ways that we can impact this is by looking at bird collisions. Below cat mortalities, bird collisions are one of the most major threats to our birds here in North America. About 365 to 988 million are estimated to die in collisions in the U.S. alone every year. And so that's a dual problem of glass and light.
It's light pollution. I heard it say light pollution just about here. I mean, and so we're talking about buildings that may be skyscrapers or whatever they might be, and they lit up all night. They look pretty, but we don't really think about what that means to a bird, particularly a migratory bird that is on this same pattern every year, Julia.
Exactly.
And that's what we're talking about. So the program itself, how long has it been in operation?
So I think the first one started in Canada called the Fatal Light Awareness Program. And now there's been, since the 90s, efforts across a variety of cities across the U.S., maybe 50 now.
50 cities now. So the object of this is just give the birds a chance, right? I mean,
yes, absolutely. What a lot of people don't know is most of our migratory birds are flying at night, about 80% of North American migratory birds. So when they're navigating, these major bright spots that are urban and suburban areas are pulling them off their courses, disorienting them, and bringing them into our cities, our residential areas where they're more likely to collide with glass, where they're more likely to be exposed to urban predators or pesticides, where it's just more dangerous and they're less likely to have a good stopover refuel on their dangerous migratory journey. And so if we just turn off our lights during migration season as much as possible, we reduce some of the likelihood that these birds will come into our urban areas and make contact with our buildings.
And the main thing here, again, we're talking to Julia Wang of the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. And I know, Julia, that these buildings like to showcase what the architect made them. But at the same time, we're talking about some very familiar birds that not just something you don't know about. I'm assuming we're talking about birds that most people would know and not even think about this. So this program is really reaching out. So how do we get people involved in this, Julia?
Well, I would say to reach out to your local bird organization, such as an Audubon organization, and reach out to your local International Dark Sky Association.
Dark Sky Association. I love that
yes.
name. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so they'll have typically pretty good advice. You're also welcome to get more involved in learning about bird migration and the steps you can take in terms of lights out and glass. In general, on our website, birdcast.information, there will tell you when birds are moving through your area, what kind of species of birds are moving through your area, and what sort of lights you want to be turning off and when. So there's resources there. You can check out our partners at American Bird Conservancy. That's abcbirds.org to find more information about treating your glass as well. And so I'd recommend looking at those sorts of things to start learning about how and when you might want to act to turn off your lights and treat your glass.
I've got to ask you, how did you get involved in this? Did you grow up as a bird watcher? Give me a little background here.
Oh, yeah. So I've always liked birds, but I would say I wasn't a true birder until I started working at the lab, actually. So I came at it from a policy perspective. So I've been living in Texas for the last 4 years. Okay. And there was a real concern about lights in Texas after a collision in 2017 at a single building in Galveston that killed 400 birds in a night.
One night.
So I started working for the lab to get lights out down here in Texas. And, that work has really sort of picked up as the lab and various other partners, including Audubons across the country, have started talking about working together on a national level to combat this with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, IDA, and other partners. And so I sort of came into it as a general animal lover. And the more I learn about these birds that are passing overhead and in our neighborhoods, in our parks, the more I fall in love with them. And that's my hope for, the general homeowner, building owner, that as you become aware of this somewhat invisible problem, you start to notice and love the birds around you.
And I'm assuming some of these people don't even think about this. They're building these beautiful buildings, and no concern for this. So we're just trying to, in Outdoors with Larry Ray, we're trying to learn people that there are sidelights to this. We all love the great architecture and Frank Lloyd Wright, all these great people that the architecture that I grew up with that may not even think about this. I'm hoping this jars some of you folks out there in the Mid-South that are listening to this. So the safest way to do this is to get people involved. Right, Julia?
Absolutely. And we need everyone at the table, from the regular homeowner, someone working in a big office with glass, architects, everyone at the table to tackle this problem of glass and light. So the optimistic message here is everyone is able to contribute to this solution in saving birds.
And we know when the migrations really are going. I mean, we have a general idea. I think the ducks have missed us. So, I don't know where the migration went with our ducks here, Julie. Can you explain that to me? I don't know.
So migration over in your area in Memphis, I think it's kind of peak right now. And so we're able to forecast that by looking at radar information on Birdcast, by separating out when the birds are moving from that radar data. And so I was just taking a glance at it, actually, and it looks like, this week and up through May 14th is kind of this time of really high migration when you're going to see a lot of stuff moving overhead and potentially a lot of stuff in your parks. Just looking at it this week, it's seeming like Shelby County is getting anywhere between 2 and 5 million migrants passing overhead every night.
Wow.
So it's huge right now. So I would recommend, going out to your park, seeing if there's birds there at stopover feeding during the day, and going out at night and seeing if you can listen and hear them calling overhead as they fly over.
So it's not just bats flying at night. Okay, people? I mean, we've determined this. And again, we're talking to Julia Wang, Lights Out program project leader. And I really appreciate, Julia, what you've really dug your research, and just bringing us into your focus has been impressive to me here, because I was thinking that we, a lot of us keep up with hummingbirds and things along that line, bluebirds, whatever it might be. My wife's a big gardener, and so we follow that. And I know Gene, through the Audubon Society, Gene, you guys have been doing this for a long time, right, Gene? I mean.
Oh yeah. Also, it seemed like they was doing sound at one time. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, you can get the different sounds and whatever it might be, but you just put up some things, Julia. Again, tell our listeners out there how they can. You just popped up some information there that obviously is available to us here in Memphis. So talk about how we can find and keep our tracks on this.
Absolutely. So if you head to Birdcast, you'll be able to search your county or your city on various migration tools that we offer for free to the public.
Okay.
So just looking at it, I can see expected nocturnal migrants in your area right now. Shelby County is expecting yellow-rumped warblers, eastern wood pewees, magnolia warblers, chestnut-sided warblers, American red stars, all this stuff. And so you can just search Shelby County, and it'll just default to either, depending on when you're looking during the day or the night, either the present night view of what's happening around you or the previous night. So you can take a look at what just happened, and you can just search through the whole season. We're forecasting all of migration season, and it'll tell you how many birds are overhead, what direction they're moving, how high they're flying, what species we're expecting. All that information is available, as well as tools that'll tell you how many birds we expect to be moving over the next couple of days.
Now, is that on the Cornell Lab Ornithology website, or is this Birdcast?
It's on birdcast.info, which is a research project between Cornell, Colorado State, and UMass Amherst.
Wow,
and so all of that information is open for the public on birdcast.info.
That's impressive. Julia, thank
Flyway is the largest one in the United States.
What'd you say, Gene? What?
The Mississippi Flyway is the largest one in the United States.
Well, we're familiar with that as waterfowl hunters, but at the same time, this is pretty. This is pretty cool. Birdcast.
.info,
folks, and we'll have all this on my website, LarryRay.com. Julia, thank you very much for taking time to be with us. This is very interesting, and we've got your number now. We'll stay in touch. We might do this again every year, okay? Keep up with it.
Perfect. Sounds great, Larry.
All right.
Wonderful to talk to you guys.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. All right.
You too.
Julia
Bye-bye.
Wang. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll have fun now. It's coming up now. We're going to get Dave Gabbert back in there, hopefully. Gene Smith, we're ready for a pun man. What do we got?
All right.
Are we almost, you only got 30 minutes left? Is that right? I'm so fast, I can't believe it. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. It's, and I truly believe this. This is the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. You won't find it anywhere else. We don't just talk to each other for 90 minutes. We have guests, and we've broke the bank today. I really think so, with Mary Padron and Misty Page out of our good friends at Radians. And here he's coming right now. We've been saving some of this for Gene and Dave to listen in. He's brought his saxophone, tenor sax. No, it's alto sax. Got the alto sax. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Gene was trying to sell you the tenor sax. Okay. All right. He's got his alto sax over there. Man, I know he plays that at Walmart. At Christmas time, he's booked solid. I know he does that. He's got his music here, and we just didn't have the communication. If you're wondering why Shelby's not playing, it's my fault. I sent her a text to a wrong phone, so she doesn't have her trumpet. But we will do that in 2 weeks. When Frank's in here in 2 weeks, Shelby will bring her trumpet, and we will definitely play House of the Rising Sun. Okay? That's just my song, all right?
So now we're going to play Yakety Sax.
I don't know what Hoot's got over there, but we're ready. How about a little Hooter music here? What? What? You going to tell me something? All right, he's playing in a nursing home. Oldies but goodies. We don't have a mic for him over there, so he doesn't need the mic. But he's got his music stand. Of course, I told you he brought his bodyguard over here.
Can he play Far, Far Away?
Well, no, he's playing right now.
They wanted oldies but goodies, but they wanted oldies
there you go.
but goodies. Christmas song.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use y'all as guinea pigs to see how the.
We're good guinea pigs here. Mary and Misty are staying around, so M&M here, okay? All right, Shelby setting it up. Here he is, the one and only Ricky Hoot Hazelgrove. All right, that's a round of applause.
Very good.
I'm assuming that, that my two listeners are doing that. He's passing the hat right now, but he's going to have to pass it really fast for this group. I can tell you that right now. And he's also brought another musical instrument besides his saxophone that he brought. And
Tell the bird lady. Tell me what it is.
well, the bird lady's gone now. She's on.
Tell me what this is.
Come on now. That's a hoot owl, man. Is that, how about that? All right. And then what do we hear after that?
Hopefully. They're they got laryngitis right now.
I wonder why. They've been snuck up on so many times.
I think they've been to the prom a lot.
They've been to the prom a lot.
Yeah,
big time. The women are not being chased as much as they were. Has it been kind of slow lately?
I just got back a week ago from Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough. I got a turkey Friday. Gobbled 4 times. 2 on the limb, 2 on the ground, coming to me.
Shelby's trying to keep everything going. Who's taking over he's taking over the studio. You know, I mean, it's
no, but in South, I can speak from experience. It might happen in every state. I don't know, but in South Carolina, during the season, it doesn't matter. It happens once a year. Every season, there's a 5 to 6, 7 day. We call it a lull.
A lull.
There's no gobbling anywhere. We have 11,000 acres.
Oh my!
And we can't cover it all.
No.
But there's no gobbling. And then all of a sudden, the magic 8th day or whatever day it might be.
Yeah.
Just like opening day, every friggin' turkey's just going crazy.
So you think even though the season ends here at the 26th of May, there's still opportunities?
It is, but
the ticks are out, the bugs are out. And
from my experience, you're just wasting a lot of time if you're running and gunning.
Yeah, no.
The best thing to do is deer hunt them. That's what we call it.
That's what I do. Set up.
Find dusting areas. That's big time.
Decoys, you use decoys. Or do you?
I think it's at the stage now where I'm not going to use any.
Not going to use them, okay.
I mean, it's just my everybody's different.
I know that.
I mean, and as a matter of fact, opening day, I just showed her the video.
Yeah.
At Blackwater.
Yeah.
My hunter was from Long Island, New York.
Long Island, New York.
I want to know how many listeners have ever put out 8 turkey decoys.
Y'all put out 8 turkeys?
I put out 8 decoys.
What?
That's a herd.
That's a herd. That's a flock.
I had one breeding hen. 6 regular hen decoys and a Jake decoy. What'd you think of that video?
Yeah.
Turkeys were everywhere.
Turkeys were everywhere.
Ended up being 15 gobblers.
15 gobblers.
But let me give you what happened to start all of that.
Okay, tell me.
He was in a pop-up blind. It had been raining, so I got him in the blind, and when it stopped, I got out back.
Mm-hmm.
7 or 8 hens and 3 longbeards came out about 75 yards from us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, well, here we go. See if I can pull them away from the girls.
That's what it is. It's all about that. Yeah.
Every hen, for whatever reason, started fighting each other.
Did they really?
It was an all-girl knock it out, knock it down.
You got that on video?
Well, no, I couldn't move my phone because one of the turkeys would have seen me.
Oh, I got you. Had you ever seen that before? You ever seen that before? No.
Not. I've seen two hens kind of have a little.
But
spat,
not that many.
But this was a brawl. I mean, it was slapping
turkey brawl,
talking about their mamas and all kinds of stuff. I mean, But all of a sudden, gobblers were coming out of the woodwork.
Wow.
It ended up being 15 longbeards. I could not move my phone. If I moved this turkey that's about 20 yards from the big gobbler.
Yeah, 20 yards from me.
Spook.
They're gone. They're gone. Yeah. What, did you kill a turkey? I mean,
the hunter's in the blind. Oh. He can't shoot one of the longbeards out front.
I bet his.
If he shoots once, he's gonna.
I bet his shirt was just pounding. That heart was adrenaline.
Let's just say I was about to lose my own self. Okay. Because I turned my head or my eyes.
Yeah.
And saw this monster is a Volkswagen with a full fan coming down the tree line. I'm
Volkswagen.
only 5 feet inside the tree line.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's coming, and I'm trying my best to text.
You're trying to text while you're all this going on?
I can't speak to the guy in the blind.
In the pop-up. Okay. You're texting him?
To the left, to the left, to the left. And I think I texted somebody in Hong Kong. I don't know where it went. But when I eased my eyes back, there was more gobblers coming in from this way.
Come on.
And and I just said, well, but anyway, it was a 3-minute and something second video. He allowed the gobbler that was on the breeding hen decoy to go to the winter wonderland.
Oh, we did.
Very, very happy. But he shot him, and he wanted to get out of the blind real quick. And I said, no, we don't do that. You let them calm down.
Yeah.
We don't educate turkeys.
Yeah, that's right. They're already educated.
And it's just amazing. I've seen some turkey fights, gobblers and jakes.
Well, sure, yeah. But hens are
jump
fighting
on one gobbler.
Yeah, I wonder what.
But all these hens, I don't know what set them off. I have no idea.
Oh, somebody told a story, and one of them didn't believe it. So.
Redneck beer joint, rusty beer bottle, and you call my mama what? I mean, these hens were just that sound. I didn't know how to mimic that. I take a little pride in them being able to mimic turkey as best I can.
Yeah.
I had never heard some of the stuff. I mean, we've got very highly religious people, preachers and ministers and stuff.
Yeah.
They would have probably had a heart attack.
They would have.
Decipher what those hens.
And you're hunting in lower South Carolina, is that right?
It's called the Low Country. It's 13 counties called the Low Country.
How close is that to Paris?
Well, Paris Island.
Where you spent your life.
That's where my mother lives.
Yeah.
But the lodge is 109 miles inland.
Inland,
but it's still in the Low Country.
All right.
And it's separate zone from the other counties.
And we're still shooting easterns, right?
Correct. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
But it's amazing, Larry.
Yeah.
I learn something new every year, and I pick up on it, and I try to remember it. And a lot of people, I think, and I'm not trying to be ugly by saying what I'm fixing to say, they get misled by watching YouTube and it's people's successful hunts.
Yeah.
And they might these guys or girls, ladies, might just be getting started.
Yeah.
They don't get to see the edited part.
That's right. Yeah.
I show everything to my hunter, the edited part. I don't know how to edit on a phone anyway.
Yeah. Again, we got Hoot Hazelgrove on there with us, and Hoot's not only got the stories to tell, he's got the life to tell because God's kept him on this earth through what he and I have both experienced cancer, and mine is in remission now for 2 years and could come back any day. We got a couple of minutes. Tell them what's going on with yours. You're doing good now.
If you know about what I'm fixing to say, I felt as though I was a big time guinea pig. We're going to try this new thing called immuno.
Yes. Yeah.
And what it does, it builds your own immune system up.
Yeah.
Basically, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I can do when I can do it until I can't do it anymore.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
When I went to, was it last year?
Last year. Yeah.
For the checkup.
Yes.
I go in they shoot you up with junk.
That's right.
Tube and come out.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to do that in about a month. So.
But anyway, when actually went to the doctor. She already had the results, and she looked at me and she said, they're calcifying. I went, okay, how much longer do I have? Do I get to go with squirrel season? Do I get to go on the hatchy one last? You don't understand. Calcifying means that they're hardening, they're separating, and they're going to dissolve on their
There
own.
it is. Yeah.
So I feel
as
though I still got a purpose.
Yes.
A big-time purpose.
Well, you keep saying I'm not all these years.
Prime example was 15 or 20 minutes ago with her.
That's it.
She was so mad at that striker, and, you know. But calling turkeys is not to hunt.
No, and competitive calling is not hunting. So let's go. We're gonna come back. Hang on right there. We're gonna come back. Get a couple of puns from Gene Smith. Get some comments from Dave Gabbert. What's going on? We still have our guests, Misty Page, Mary Padron, in the studio. Shelby McCall. Let's take a break. We're gonna come back and wrap this baby up on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, what we do call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio program. It just seems like we just sat down, and it's so good to have studio guests, and it's good to have Dave Gabbert, who's been with the show for over 20 years, and Gene Smith, who was in there when we first started at the Dungeon down at Channel 5, down at 1960 Union Avenue. Those early morning Saturdays at Union down there, and we appreciate both of these guys. And Gene is my master of puns, and, I try to remember them, but I have difficulty. I'm getting ready to speak on May the 21st at First Evangelical Christian, First Evan Church, to their men's fish fry. And I've been to it. It is a wonderful thing to do, and I've never been asked to speak before, but they want to hear me talk about my cancer journey. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm looking forward to that. But these two guys, I always say when I get them together on the first Saturday or the fifth Saturday, that they mean so much to the show. And I know Gene. It's been so dull in the studio this morning, Gene.
I wouldn't say that.
we need a pun. All right, give me a pun.
Okay, this elderly couple was sitting on the couch
now,
one
you
night.
Going back to these elderly couples? Now that's me. Come on now, Gene. Okay, well, anyhow, these elderly couple were sitting on the couch.
She said, when we first got married, you used to sit over right next to me and nibble on my ears and my neck and everything. And she said, well, where are you going? He said, I'm going to get my teeth.
You never know what Gene's going to come up with. And Dave, I know the show's been, Dave.
What I like about this show is your unique guests, like when Hoot was playing his sax. You've been up at my place. Yeah. I'm sitting out here on my back deck, and I got a hen turkey down there on the firing range.
There you go.
Right now.
Okay.
And when he was playing the saxophone, she actually picked her head up and looked this way.
There you go, Hoot. You've got the turkeys going. But Dave, of course, spent more than.
I know Hoot.
Yeah.
And there's something about people from Bolivar down there, and I'm pretty sure Hoot knows. Real good friend of mine I shoot with all the time from Bolivar, Mr. Jimmy Ferris. Jimmy's kind of a legend down there in Bolivar, so. But something about the guys from Bolivar can tell stories.
Yeah. Of course, Robert Cliff was my man that really was my mentor when I started turkey. I didn't start turkey until I was 55, and now people say, well, I can't vacuum the den, but I can crawl 100 yards on my belly to go get a turkey. Well, that's
Amen.
That's just the way it happens, right, Hoot? I mean, it makes old people feel young again and things along that line. But I know Dave spent more than 30 years with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. He was what he calls the what, Dave?
I was the minister of propaganda.
The minister of propaganda. So obviously he's retired now. So he's the former minister of propaganda. But I got to ask, Hoot. I'll get back to Hoot in just a minute. But Mary and Misty, was this what you expected? did you have any idea what was going to happen this morning? They were getting real nervous about it. Well, we don't want to do this. And I've been trying to get her in the studio for a long time, get her out of that big building out there. And I know that if I did what Misty did, I would be wearing 4 pairs of eyeglasses, looking at that computer all the time and things like that. Have we had fun?
Oh, yes. This has exceeded my expectations.
There you go. How about you, Misty? Okay. Well, we're not done yet. We got a few more minutes here, and the Hooter is over there, and my 2 guys are with me right now. Let me tell you about next week's show really quickly. We are going to have a show next week. Ron Wang will be joining us. He's going to be down in Richley, Mississippi, at a crappie-thon media camp that I couldn't go to, so Ron's going to go. But we're going to have the man that we call Cornbread on next week. Johnny Warren from Reelfoot Lake. They're getting ready to have a kids event for catching brim up at Reelfoot, and we're going to have him. And then next week's show, we're going to pay tribute to one of the greatest events held annually in Memphis on Memorial Day. On that Sunday of Memorial Day is the St. Jude Bass Classic, where over millions of dollars have been raised by common bass fishermen for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And Victor Lucas will be in studio next week to talk about this year's classic. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them. But close it out a little bit. Hoot and I've been hunting with Hoot. He knows the Hatchie River like no one knows the Hatchie. I had to find his house in the dark, and I didn't know if I was going to find it. He lives where you can't find it. You know, I mean, what you live? How far from the Hatchie, Hoot?
It's a mile and an eighth.
A mile and an eighth. He probably knows how many feet. I mean, from the Hatchie, and you've grown up in that area. But so tell us, our listeners, about a little bit about what it likes to live on the Hatchie. Talk to that microphone now.
All I can do is kind of just as fast as I can say Hatchie it flows north.
Yes, it does.
That's one rarity for Tennessee.
Yeah.
And my granddaddy retired from Southern Pacific Railroad. He commercial fished on the Hatchie.
Yeah.
My daddy retired from being a truck driver. He fished on the Hatchie.
Okay.
So it was just evident that that's where I learned to swim because Daddy threw me out of the boat.
In the Hatchie.
In the Hatchie.
Yes.
And the duck hunting part, I love duck hunting. My true passion.
That's his passion. Yeah.
There was no such thing as Daddy using decoys or duck calls. He tied a string with a brick to a buckbrush.
That's it.
And jerked it to make ripples. And at that time, that was all the ducks needed.
That's it. Yeah.
We didn't have deer or turkeys in my area at that time.
No.
But all of a sudden, the deer, I think it was the late 60s, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Larry.
Yeah, that's right.
And the turkeys were the early 70s, I think.
Yeah.
And now you can hunt turkeys. I mean, I didn't know anything about a turkey till I turned 17. Mom and Daddy signed the papers for me to join the Marine Corps. They had to get me out of the house.
Get you out of the house.
But anyway.
Yeah.
It was only 3 or 4 older gentlemen in my hometown. You mentioned Robert Clift. He was one of them that turkey hunting. And I never heard Daddy or my granddaddy talk about it. But then all of a sudden, I was bagging groceries at the local grocery store.
Yeah.
And one of the two brothers owned it, and I always closed the store with one brother. He was constantly taking his day off during the week going to Shelby Forest.
Oh, there you go, Gene. Yeah.
And he's the first one that showed me even attempt how to use a mouth call, which they weren't that big of a market back then on anything that I knew of.
Yeah.
So being in the Marine Corps, if I was stateside, almost every base had huntable land on it.
It did.
For active duty, and it went down the list.
Yeah.
And that's where I really toenails and feet and arms and everything got into turkey hunting, and I learned by making mistakes. I try not to make the same mistakes twice.
That's what we do.
And it's just evolved into, I don't take turkeys for granted at all.
No.
Because when you the people say, I roosted one. I'm gonna have him in the morning. I got him. Guess what?
Yeah.
The old saying, "Roosted ain't roasted," is true.
That's That's right.
Sometimes it pans out, sometimes it don't.
If they could smell, they'd never be killed.
That's true. I can tell you something. If people think eagles have great eyesight, I would compare a turkey to an eagle's eyesight.
It's exactly right.
And they are not any way, shape, or form like a deer.
No.
They are not curious. If they sense danger,
they're gone.
You're just going to see the back end of them.
That's why I can't run and gun anymore. And he mentioned, Hoot mentioned Shelby Forest, and Gene, you and I know that's the mother lode of turkey hunting in Tennessee, because that's where they all came from. And
we trapped a bunch of them out there.
Yeah, trapped them there and sent them over to the middle of Tennessee, and now they got no more than what they can handle over there. But we know the turkey started here. But you mentioned another thing, Hoot. How many times did you duck hunt this year?
Every day.
So how many days was that, Hoot?
64.
64 days he duck hunted. Now, that's a man right there.
That's a commitment.
That's a commitment, because, Diesel gets him up every morning. He wants to hunt and everything. 64 days, and not you don't kill one. We're not in this for killing. Now,
no,
I like to eat. Now, I like to eat. Now, I'm not going to kill anything unless I can eat it, But there's just something about sunrise in the woods or wherever it might be, and Hoot knows that better than anybody. So, folks, I know we got May 26th is the closing date for the Tennessee turkey season. We need to thank people like Hoot and Robert Clift and all these other guys that I've known through the years that helped create this great sport. And it's just the opportunity to be outdoors and see God open up the world to us on a beautiful day in West Tennessee, whether you're in the Hatchie River or where I hunt over in Hardeman County, some of that area too. He knows I hunt at the McCrory Farm there in Vildo and out of Whiteville. I couldn't have been where I am without James McCrory. But I'm just telling everybody, be safe, because turkey hunting is a sport, but you got to be on your toes, right, Hoot? I mean, because
it puts a whole new meaning to don't move.
Don't move. You got 2 minutes. I'm not going to tell you to move, but I'm just telling you, I've had people walk up on me that didn't know I was there. Hoot, you probably too. Or I've had people kill birds that were mine. Okay? It just happens like that. And I've had birds walk up on my left, and I can't shoot them because I'm left-handed and can't get around the tree to get to them. So it is a sport. Thank you all for being with us today. Hoot, Misty, Mary, thank you. Dave, Gene, thank you for bodyguard over there, Mr. Smith, for being here with us. Thank you, Shelby McCall, for being here with us. And don't forget, next week we'll be back, God willing. But we always close our show out every half, and have since the very first. And this is my old buddy, Benny Craig. He was a sportscaster in Little Rock, Arkansas when I was a kid, and he always said it does not cost an extra cent to be a good sport. What else, guys? God bless the USA.